Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is a Friday, June 6th, as I'm recording this. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a relaxing, rejuvenating, restful weekend planned. Let's get into the cards. Have coffee with me. Let's see what the cards have to say for today. Let's see what's going on. What's the situation around you? What's the situation around the collective? Whoa. Really? All right. The Seven of Swords. Are you saying yes when you really mean no? In this Seven of Swords, it talks about how she is on the ski lift skiing and she really wants to be back in that cabin. She's got the 5 skis with her, but these 2 swords, right, skis, are back in front of the cabin, and she's looking back. That's where she really wants to be, but she felt obligated to say yes to the skiing, and she really wants to be back in that cabin. So where are you saying yes when you really want to say no? It may be going against the crowd too, right? Because there's more going skiing than that are back at the cabin. But that's where she really wants to be. So it may be going against the majority, but you are saying yes when you really mean no. What area is that? Where are you doing that? What's your challenge with that? Let's look. What's the collective challenge? The devil. The devil is a lie. I don't know if I've ever read this devil card. It's a devil. It's a snake, though. This devil is a snake. That's your challenge. Intersectionality. Listen, white supremacy. Oh, Lord. I really hadn't read this. White supremacy taught us that some people's suffering is more important than others. It's a trap. Pitting marginalized groups against each other is a tactic, a way to keep us distracted, fighting each other instead of fighting together against the system. We all know how icky it feels to be invalidated, and the devil is the first to try to lure us into this wildly unproductive conversation. When the devil card shows up, it's an invitation to meditate on the ways we gaslight ourselves and each other. How might you be minimizing your suffering? Do you find yourself comparing your suffering to someone else's? This card brings the concept of intersectionality to the forefront. The fact that we can have multiple identities with varying degrees of privilege and discrimination that collide with and on top of each other. We are complex beings, and there's a lot of healing that needs to be done across the board. Let's not add additional burden to each other's plate by needing to prove that our suffering is important, that our suffering matters, that our suffering deserves airtime in the news, in books, in the classroom, in workplace, in movies, in medicine, in therapy, even within our own families. Any amount of suffering is too much. Let's make room for everyone to heal. For the good of all and the harm of none. Let's make room for everyone to heal. That makes me so emotional, because what a beautiful world it would be, right? If everyone was healing. Healed people heal people, right? You know, so I always say this. I do get emotional a lot of times because I am so affected by the readings as a collective or as an empath. But, you know, you're not being true to yourself, right? And that challenge is understanding that we all have multiple identities and varying degrees of privilege and discrimination, and that any amount of suffering is too much, and that we need to make room for everyone to heal. That's our challenge. Where should we focus? What should we focus on? What should the collective focus on? Thank you. Four of Pentacles. Your home and your money. Letting go. It's tragic. We can't hold on to people and things and places and experiences forever. The Four of Pentacles speaks to the idea of impermanence, which IMO is one of the hardest lessons of human existence. Letting go can feel brutal, like a part of you is dying. The simple act of getting rid of clothes can unearth all sorts of baggage, old memories, guilt, what if, money trauma, the passage of time. Isn't that true? Even the getting rid of clothes can do that. But when we stuff our lives full of shit, we suffocate. We have trouble moving on. We prevent ourselves from growing into who we're meant to be. Here we see a backpack that is so full, the pentacles are falling out, symbolizing how you gotta get rid of the old to make room for the new. Let the Four of Pentacles help you. Marie Kondo the heck out of your life. Trust me, it may suck at first, but damn, it is liberating knowing that when all is said and done, what you're left with is what matters most. Like, didn't do your spring cleaning, you know? Still spring, it's not quite summer yet. We go into the summer season here in the North Hemisphere. Next summer begins a week from today. Let's get that spring cleaning, clean out. You know, I believe I'm moving here shortly, and I'm going through and cleaning out old paperwork I don't need, just old things I don't need, right? Refreshing things. Washing everything, cleaning upholstery, carpets, all of that. But this is just talking about getting rid of the old so you can make room for the new. That's where your focus should be. What are you leaving behind? What in your recent past is affecting this? The Fool. Yeah. You're leaving that. Yes, that's all right. This is about, risk and new adventure. That's from your recent past, and that was what is affecting this most. You've been on an adventure to get to know yourself, right? And that's what it's affecting this. But you're leaving that behind to start healing, right? You don't need any more adventures or risks. You're ready for this to start paying off. You're leaving the risk and the adventures for now, the major ones behind, that foolishness. What are your strengths? What's the collective strengths? Temperance. Got some earth angel energy, don't you? Balance. That's your strengths. Says self-care. I'm tired. Are you tired? The world is a shit show, and some days it feels like too much. When you're a sensitive being, you turn into the suffering of the collective. And holy cow, do you feel things heavily lately? When you're tending to your own intergenerational trauma, fighting for Mother Earth, or dismantling systems of oppression, know that none of this can happen overnight. It is imperative that we take breaks along the way. Trust that while you're resting, someone else is doing the work so that when it is your turn to rest, you'll have the energy to tap back in. This is how we create sustainable change. This is how we practice sacred activism. This is how we avoid burnout. With temperance, we stop carrying the weight of the world on our backs and make time for rejuvenation. Soak up the medicine of the hot springs. Do something that restores your spirit. Reconnect with joy. With this card, we're being asked to examine if our current actions for social change are supportive of our own health and well-being. We all have unique roles in this revolution, and it's time to get clear on what is yours. I can't and I won't feel guilty if I don't do a reading thank you, Spirit, for agreeing. If I don't do a reading every single day, I won't just, give up, scrap it, say screw it. I need to rest, take care of myself when I'm sick, rejuvenation. And not feel guilty for that. Take care of myself and know that it's self-care, that I'm doing it for the greatest good, that there are other spiritual people out there that pick up the slack when I am not here in this space, that people will receive the messages from others, that they will hear the messages from Spirit through others that need to be heard when they need to hear it. Let's look about what's coming up in your near future. Strength card. Yeah. And you've got this. Look at that balance. In the near future, you're going to... I'm going to read some of this. This is about endurance. When athletes train, they don't just hit the gym and call it a day. There's a lot more that goes into it. They practice. They take days off and nurse injuries. They work on their mindset and visualize winning and deal with nerves and learn how to perform under pressure. This strength card speaks to the training journey as a whole. The gradual steps needed to achieve your goal that go well beyond physical fitness. Building in time for self-care, baths, massage, nutrition, sleep, hydration is critical to making sure you are healthy for race day. That's the medicine of the strength card. We often forget that preparing our bodies to take on new challenges is just as much about rest as it is about pushing ourselves. It is forever practice to find the right balance, represented by the infinity symbol on this card, above her head and reflected there. There is strength in resting. Resting makes you stronger. Endurance is about the long game. And if we're going to make it to the finish line in one piece, we have to pace ourselves. Just like Spirit's so here. I was just speaking of this before we picked up the card. I need to rest, relaxation, rejuvenate ourselves, and I was doing that. Yes, and rehydrate. Hydrate. Drink your water. All right. What's the advice? Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate the support. 7. What's the advice? The 4 of Wands. Look at this 4 of Wands. What's your advice? Damn, check you out making waves and looking radiant and being a badass. The 4 of Wands speaks to our ability to let ourselves shine brightly. How comfortable are you with taking up space, with letting loose, with being yourself? Society has taught women, especially Asian women, to be quiet and docile, to fear being too much, to blend into the background and wait to be spoken to, and hate our own bodies and diminish our accomplishments. But guess what? This is just another form of oppression, a way to keep us playing small so we don't go changing up the systems of power. Well, fuck that. The 4 of Wands is here to remind you you are amazing, that your voice matters, that your happiness matters, that your existence matters. So go out there and be your brightest possible self. When we shine brightly, we give others the permission to do the same. Yes. What in your immediate environment is affecting you? Okay. Explorer of Cups. Confidence. Let's see this. This is about being everyone's favorite big sister, being chill. This is how you're seen in your environment. You're confident. You're attuned to your own needs. You don't contort yourself to make others happy or dim your light. Sure, people might talk shit behind your back. Sure, people might try to make you feel small. Sure, people might flip out on you for being honest. But this card is here to prevent you from internalizing any of that. Stay true to yourself. Because if you like you, then it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. But people like you. People really do. And you like you. That's what's most important. What are your hopes and fears? What are your hopes and fears? It's the truth, huh? Ace of Swords. It's the truth. The truth. Clarity. Ace is signifying it. The Ace of Swords offers us a chance to look at a situation with fresh eyes. So often we find ourselves feeling trapped, like we don't have a voice, like there's no other option but to push through. But the medicine of this card is that we are not as helpless as we think. Our majestic bald eagle here gives us a Swiss Army knife, a tool with many different functions, symbolizing the infinite possibilities available to us. Is there a conversation you've been avoiding? A relationship that no longer fits in your life? A move you need to make? Now is the time to speak your truth, Mama. I know it's easier said than done, but oh, it's going to feel so good to advocate for yourself. You can't afford to wait any longer for something to get better on its own. We can't control other people or how they will react to us. All we can do is get clear on our own needs and express what we feel in our own hearts. Ready to rip the Band-Aid off? 1, 2, 3, go. And let's see what the potential outcome is. What's our potential outcome? The Emperor. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. It's about self-worth. How neat is this? Number 4. The Emperor is all about uncoupling your self-worth from money, and often shows up in the low moments when you're feeling like a complete and utter failure. In the startup world, this season of darkness is often referred to as the trough of sorrow. Every entrepreneur goes through it. It's the FML moment when you are suddenly convinced that you made a terrible mistake, will never succeed, and should without a doubt throw in the towel. This may not be the first time you've been in the trough of sorrow, but it can feel just as dark. Trough of sorrow. Most people talk about this period in retrospect when they are back on the top of the roller coaster. But the Emperor is down in the trenches with you, reminding you we are all familiar with this exceptionally unglamorous side of the journey. And as hard as it might be to believe in at the moment, the sun will shine again. In a world obsessed with hustle porn and ranking people based on their wealth, it can feel damn near impossible to feel good about yourself if you aren't constantly doing more, earning more, and achieving more. But it's all a lie. You are already perfect and whole and deserving of love just by existing. You're worthy of love just by existing. You are perfectly you today. I hope you found messages here. If you did, this is Stevie's Tarot. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a fantastic Friday and a great weekend.